Musa, a poor bricklayer, sat on the bare floor, holding his twin baby girls, Amira and Amina. They were only 3 months old. Their eyes were big and bright. They didn't know what was happening, but they could feel something was wrong. Musa's eyes were full of tears. He was trying to stay strong for his daughters, but his heart was breaking. Across the room stood his wife, Lady. She wore a fancy dress, one he didn't buy. She had a small bag in her hand. She was not crying. She was not smiling either. Her eyes were cold like stone. "I'm leaving," she said, just like that. Musa looked up slowly. "Leaving," he repeated, as if he didn't understand the meaning of the word. "Yes," Lady said, "I'm tired of this suffering. Every day you wake up and go to that brick site. You come back dirty, tired, and broke. Look at this house. Look at our life. I didn't sign up for this." Musa held his daughters closer. "We are building a life together," he said softly. "I know it's hard now, but I have a job in the next town. The man said he will pay well once I finish." Lady scoffed. "I've heard that too many times. I'm done waiting. I met someone in the city. He has money, real money. I'm going to start a new life." Musa's mouth opened in shock. "And the girls? Your daughters?" She looked at the babies once and shrugged. "You can keep them. I don't want anything to slow me down. I'm still young. I need to enjoy life." Musa stood up, still cradling the girls. "Lady, please. They need their mother." But she was already walking toward the door. "Lady," he shouted, "don't do this." She didn't even look back. She opened the door, stepped outside, and disappeared down the dusty path. Her figure got smaller and smaller until it was gone. Musa stood frozen. Then slowly he sat on the ground. He rocked his babies gently as tears rolled down his face. "It's okay, my daughters," he whispered. "I am here. Your father is here. I will be both mother and father to you. I don't know how, but I will try. I promise. I will never leave you." The babies began to cry, but Musa held them close. That night, under a leaky roof and with an empty pot in the kitchen, a father's love became a wall, stronger than any brick he had ever laid. He didn't know it yet, but his journey had just begun. The next morning, the sun rose again, just like it always did. But nothing felt normal in Musa's small house. There was no warm breakfast waiting, no soft voice humming in the kitchen, no woman to help with the crying babies. Just Musa, and 2 little girls who needed everything. Musa tied his babies to his chest with an old wrapper and walked to the building site. His arms were tired, his back ached, but he knew he couldn't stop. "Ah, Musa," one of the workers said, "you brought your babies to the site. Where is their mother?" "She left," Musa replied simply. He didn't want to say more. He didn't want pity. The man looked at the babies and shook his head. "May God give you strength." Musa gave a small nod and got to work. He mixed cement with his bare hands. He carried heavy bricks on his shoulders. He worked from sunrise to sunset, all while his twin girls slept and cried on his back. People stared, but no one helped. Every day he did the same thing. When one baby cried, he would stop his work, clean her up, sing a soft song, and return to mixing cement. When both cried, he would sit in a corner, rock them gently, and whisper, "Please, give me time. Papa is trying." The days turned into weeks. The weeks turned into months. Musa learned how to make pap with just a little corn. He used a spoon carved from wood. He washed cloth diapers by hand and hung them under the sun. At night, he would tell the girls stories. Even though they were too small to understand, he spoke to them as if they were listening. "One day," he said one evening, "we will leave this village. I will build us a better house. You will go to school. You will not suffer like me." The twins stared at him, their tiny eyes shining in the dark. The world outside didn't care much about Musa and his daughters. The rich passed by in cars with music playing. The chiefs and landlords ignored him. Even his own neighbors said, "He's just a bricklayer. What can he do?" But Musa didn't give up. Even when it rained and the roof leaked. Even when his shoes tore and his clothes became rags. Even when his body ached from lifting bricks and feeding babies all night. He kept moving forward, because deep in his heart he knew one thing. A man is not poor because he has no money. A man is poor when he has no love, no purpose, and no reason to fight. And Musa had two strong reasons to fight, Amira and Amina. He didn't know the future. He didn't know that one day life would bring him face to face with the same woman who walked away. But that was still far ahead. For now, Musa just had to survive. Years passed like pages in a book. Musa's twin daughters, Amira and Amina, were no longer babies crying on his back. They had grown into two strong little girls, full of life, full of questions, and full of love for the man they called Papa. They were only 5 years old, but they had the hearts of warriors. "Papa," Amira said one morning, tying her scarf like she had seen the older girls do. "Can we help you today?" Musa looked at them and smiled. "Help me? How?" "We can wash the plates," Amina said proudly. "We can sweep too." Musa laughed gently. "You two are still small." "But small girls can still be helpful," Amira insisted, her arms crossed like a serious woman. So Musa gave them little tasks. They swept the compound with short brooms, missing many spots, but smiling with pride. They helped fold clothes, carried tiny buckets of water, and even sang songs while Musa cooked corn porridge. They were happy, even with little. No electricity, no toys, no mother to plait their hair or tell them stories at night. But they had each other, and that was more than many people had. One evening, after work, Musa brought home 2 old exercise books and pencils. "What's this, Papa?" Amina asked. "School books," he said, sitting down with them under the moonlight. "You may not go to school yet, but I can teach you ABC." The girls clapped their hands with joy. So each night, after his long day of bricklaying, Musa became their teacher. He taught them how to write their names. He taught them how to count. He told them stories about queens and warriors, about brave girls and kind people. And every time he ended with the same words: "Work hard. Learn well. And one day you will become more than I ever was." The twins believed him. They didn't see their father as a poor man in torn clothes. They saw him as a giant, a hero, a man with strong hands and a heart made of gold. But not everyone saw things that way. Some people in the village laughed at them behind their backs. "3 beggars living in a broken house," one woman said. "Where is their mother?" "What kind of wife leaves her babies?" another asked. But Musa didn't answer those whispers. He only focused on his girls. What he didn't know was that life was watching, and just when Musa thought he had finally found peace, a shadow from the past was about to return. The woman who abandoned them would soon knock on their door again. But this time, things would be very different. It was a Saturday morning. The sun had just risen, painting the sky with soft orange. Musa was in the backyard, mixing sand and cement with his bare hands. The twins were inside, sweeping the little house and humming songs. Everything seemed normal, until they heard a knock. Knock, knock, knock. Not soft, not gentle. It was the kind of knock that carried pride, like someone who didn't care whose peace they were breaking. Amira stopped sweeping. Amina's hand froze in mid-air. "Papa, someone is at the door," they called. Musa wiped his face, walked slowly to the wooden door, and opened it. His heart jumped. It was Lady, the woman who had abandoned him, the woman who had left their babies and walked away without looking back. She was standing there like a stranger, but dressed like a queen. Her clothes were bright, her shoes shiny, her skin smooth like someone who had been living a soft life. She carried a handbag that looked more expensive than Musa's house, and worst of all, her face wore no shame. "Musa," she said, not even smiling, "I've come back." Musa didn't speak. He couldn't. His mind was full of voices. Why now? Why come back after 5 years? Why do you still look proud when you broke us? Lady looked past him and saw the girls peeking from inside. "Those are my daughters," she said with a small nod. "They've grown." Musa's jaw tightened. He wanted to shout. He wanted to cry. But he stayed calm, for the sake of the twins. "What do you want?" he finally asked. Ladi shrugged. "I'm ready to be a mother again. I want to take the girls with me." Just like that. As if they were items on a shelf. As if 5 years of crying, hunger, and sleepless nights had not happened. Musa stepped outside, closing the door behind him. His voice was low but firm. "You left them when they needed you the most. I raised them. I fed them. I taught them how to pray, how to read, how to laugh again. Lady rolled her eyes. And you think this is a good life? Let's be honest, Musa. Look at you. Look at this place. You're poor. You can't give them what I can. Musa felt like fire was burning in his chest. But still, he kept his calm. This poor life raised them with love. This poor life never walked away. Lady smirked. You don't get it, do you? I'm not asking. I'll be back with lawyers. Those girls are mine. She turned and walked away. Musa stood there, frozen. The girls came out, clinging to his trousers. Papa, who was that lady? Amina asked. Musa bent down slowly, holding them close. She's someone from the past, he whispered. But don't worry, my angels. I will protect you. Even if it meant fighting with everything he had, even if the whole world stood against him. 2 weeks passed. Musa had not heard from Lady again, but every day he feared the sound of a car pulling up. Every night he checked that the door was locked 3 times. He started walking the girls to and from school, just in case. Then one morning, as he was getting ready for work, he saw a white envelope tucked under the door. It had his name on it, written in smooth handwriting. He picked it up with trembling hands and opened it slowly. Inside was a letter from Lady's lawyer. Dear Mr. Musa, my client, Mrs. Ladi Oko, is requesting full custody of her daughters, Amina and Amira. She claims the environment you provide is unsafe and unfit for their growth. You are expected in court in 2 weeks. Musa's hand began to shake. His legs felt weak. He sat on the floor, staring at the letter like it was a bomb. The girls came running. Papa, are you okay? He folded the letter and forced a smile. Yes, my darlings. Just tired. But inside he was broken. Not because Lady wanted to take the girls, but because the law might agree with her. She had money, fancy clothes, and smooth words. He had love, cement dust on his skin, and faith in God. He didn't know any lawyers. He didn't know how to speak in court. He didn't even have good shoes for such places. That night he sat outside under the stars. The moon was bright and the wind was soft. He held a small photo of the girls when they were babies, taken with an old phone. He remembered how he had rocked them both to sleep on the same chest, how he had prayed for food when there was none, how he had made dolls out of old cloth just to see them smile. Tears rolled down his face. God, he whispered, I am not a rich man. I do not have big words, but I love my daughters with all my heart. Please, don't let them take them from me. Just then, a voice came from behind him. You don't have to fight alone. It was old Mama Duru, the wise widow who lived next door. I saw the lawyer's letter, she said softly. That woman thinks money wins everything. But she's forgotten something. This village remembers. Musa looked at her with tired eyes. What can I do, Mama? You will go to court, she said firmly, and I will go with you. Others too. People will speak for you. We saw everything you did. We saw you carry water with a baby on your back. We saw you starve so the girls could eat. You're not alone, Musa. That night, for the first time in days, Musa slept with peace in his heart, not because the war was over, but because he knew he had an army, and that army was love. The news spread through the village like wildfire. Musa is going to court. Ladi wants to take the girls. The elders shook their heads. After all this man has done. The women in the market frowned. She left those babies like they were nothing. And now she wants them back. Even the children whispered about it. Soon the whole village was talking. And not just talking, they were planning. Mama Duru was the first to act. She visited the village chief and told him everything. Then came Musa's old schoolteacher, Mr. Felix. That man has raised those girls with his bare hands. He's a hero, not a criminal. Then came Auntie Bimbo, the kind nurse from the health center. Musa brings them for checkups, never misses a dose of medicine. He's more responsible than some rich parents I know. One by one, people came forward. Some wrote letters to the court. Some offered to testify. Even the church pastor promised to come. Meanwhile, Musa kept quiet. He continued working on the building site during the day, wiping sweat from his eyes and thinking of the girls. At night, he helped them with their homework, trying not to show how scared he was. Papa, little Amira asked one night, is that woman coming back? Musa looked at her. Which woman? The one who gave birth to us. But left. Musa paused, then he gently held her tiny hand. She may come. But you need to remember something. She gave you life, but I raised you, and I'll never stop fighting for you. Amina hugged his other arm. We don't want to go with her. We want to stay with you, Papa. Musa smiled, though his heart was still heavy. The court date was getting close. The morning before the hearing, the village did something Musa would never forget. He stepped out of his house to find a crowd waiting. Men, women, children, the chief, the church pastor, even people from nearby villages. They had come with banners that read, Musa is a true father. Love raises a child, not money. The village stands with Musa. Musa stood there, stunned. Why are you all here? He asked. Mamaduru stepped forward. Because tomorrow you stand before the judge, but today we stand for you. The chief raised his staff. If the law forgets, we will remind them. If money speaks, we will speak louder. You are not alone, Musa. You carry the love of a whole village. Tears welled up in Musa's eyes. He could barely speak, but he whispered, Thank you all. And that night, as the stars returned to the sky, Musa knelt beside his daughters and whispered a new prayer. God, tomorrow is the battle, but today, you showed me the victory has already begun. The morning of the court day came like a storm. Musa wore his best shirt. It was old but clean and ironed. His hands trembled a little as he tied his belt. He looked into the mirror and whispered, God, help me speak for my daughters. Outside, the village waited. Auntie Bimbo had brought juice for the twins. The chief gave Musa his walking stick, carved with honor. The pastor laid his hand on Musa's shoulder. The truth will shine, my son. Just speak with your heart. When they arrived at the court, it was packed. Lady was already there, looking proud in her expensive clothes. Her new husband stood beside her, adjusting his gold wristwatch like he owned the world. They had come with a big lawyer, the kind who wore suits that cost more than Musa's house. The twins held Musa's hands tightly. Inside the courtroom, the judge arrived. Everyone stood, then sat. Lady's lawyer stood first. My lord, this woman, Lady, only left the children because of poverty. Now she's married to a man who can take care of the girls. She wants to correct her mistake and be a real mother again. Musa looked at Ladi. She didn't look sorry, she looked angry. Angry that a poor man had done what she ran away from. Then Musa's turn came. He stood slowly. His voice was soft at first, then grew stronger. My lord, when Ladi left, she didn't even say goodbye to the babies. I found them crying in old rags. I was just a bricklayer with no money. But I made a promise. I said, these girls will never cry like that again. And I kept it. He turned to the judge. I fed them with what I earned from mixing cement. I washed their wounds with my own hands. I taught them how to pray, to read, to dream. I may be poor, but my love is rich. The court went silent. Then the judge asked, do the children want to speak? Amina stood up first. Her voice was shaking. My lord, we don't know that woman. She left us. Papa stayed. Then Amira added, we want to stay with Papa. He is our father. She's a stranger. Tears rolled down Lady's cheeks now, but it was too late. The truth had spoken. The judge looked at Musa for a long time, then at the girls, then at Ladi. Finally, the judge spoke. This court believes that the best interest of the children lies with the man who never left. Full custody remains with Musa. The courtroom burst into quiet gasps. Musa fell to his knees, crying. The twins hugged him tightly. The crowd from the village clapped quietly, some crying, some whispering prayers. Ladi stormed out of the courtroom. Her husband followed, furious. But Musa stayed there, holding his daughters like they were made of gold. Because to him, they were. News of the court victory spread like wildfire through the village. People danced. Old Mama Nkechi brought fried puff-puff for the twins. Children ran with sticks, pretending to be judges. Some men even lifted Musa up, chanting, our hero, the father who never gave up. But for Musa, the real joy was quiet. That night, he sat outside his small house, watching the stars with Amina and Amira resting their heads on his lap. The sky felt bigger, like it was smiling at them. "Papa," Amina said softly, "are we safe now?" "Yes," Musa replied, "no one can take you away again." Just then, a car stopped in front of their house. Musa stood up quickly, worried. But the man who stepped out wore glasses, a kind smile, and held a notebook. "Good evening," the man said politely. "My name is Mr. Adewale. I'm from a big company in the city. I was at the court today." Musa blinked, confused. "You were there?" "Yes, I came to support another case, but saw yours. Your words touched me deeply. Your love, your courage, your story. It inspired everyone." Musa scratched his head. "Thank you, sir, but I'm just a bricklayer." Mr. Adewale smiled. "Not anymore. My company builds homes for poor families across the country. We want you to join us." "Me?" "Yes, we will train you, pay you. You'll build homes, but also share your story with other fathers. We need more men like you." Musa's eyes widened. For years he had begged for daily work. Now someone was offering him a future? The twins hugged him tightly. "Papa, say yes." I don't know what to say," Musa stammered. Mr. Adewale placed a card in Musa's hand. "Say yes tomorrow, rest tonight. You've earned it." As the car drove away, Musa looked down at the card. The paper felt heavier than gold. For the first time in years, he felt something different in his chest. Hope. The next day, the village chief called a meeting. "Musa's story is now our pride," he said. "He has shown us what true fatherhood means." Musa stood up, nervous. "I don't know how to thank you all. I only did what any father should do. But now I have a chance to do more." The crowd cheered. Even those who once mocked him now clapped with respect. Later that week, the company sent a small team to help Musa and the girls move into a better house. Still simple, but strong and safe. The twins got beds of their own, and Musa got a new toolbox with his name carved on it. He stood in the doorway, eyes full of tears. He whispered, "Ladi left us with nothing, but we found everything she never had: love, peace, and a future." And as the sun set behind the new house, a new chapter began for the poor bricklayer who never gave up. Dear viewers, what did you take from this tale? We would love you to hear your thoughts in the comment below. If you enjoyed this story, give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your notification so you won't miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.